Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful girl. She is a very beautiful woman, whose existence was guarded by her owners. 10 years ago, when she first came to a strange place far from where had she come from, this woman was not actually a female veteran or a field medic. She just followed her husband way who was from this country, a beautiful little evil country. Sometimes she attempted to escape follow ship that would accompany around the world, in the hope of return to the place she was come from. She is Haryani, an Indonesian who was married by her country's father until she taken back to origin country from the father. She was only 20 years old, who should have received education from a medic school. But her beautiful fate made her life this way. The conquistadors killed his whole family. Living only, she lived. She was taken to a place that she never knew before, lived in a different life going through hard times. Because here she was. Sadly, she is being attacked because she is a stranger, thus always been used by native. Haryani lived out her days, looked up in the grand castle without doors. She is not a queen. She is one of wives from this castle owner. It's a public secret that Mr. Ramaswamy is a local chairman and most successful businessman in Den Haag. He had many wives. Each time visiting other countries, he always took a woman for being his wife. He was famous that he is a greedy and loved womanizing. But because of his power, many people are scared and they just bowed into him. No one had the courage to comment because basically at that time women were merely weak creatures who had no effort to fight men, especially if that man had a power in his hand. Everything what he wants, he got it. Day of day went through as usual, but there was a very different feel. Last of months, Haryani knew someone who made her comfortable, and no one of the castle residents knew about the relationship between Haryani and this man. Every night, when the occupant of the castle fell asleep, the servant returned to their quarters, as well as the guards remained to the main entrance. She walked silent the way in the back of the castle. A window just more smaller than the other in this castle. And in this place, Haryani met with him. Her beloved, her man, who made Haryani comfortable in Den Haag. Meanwhile, her husband, Mr. Ramaswamy, was out on a cruise. She's spending a lot of time with her man. Say, Haryani cheated on her husband. She dared to play with fire behind her husband. Moreover, the man was a counselor in a Vanda family. He is Edward Robbins, a man who has a warm personality like a soft speech. The man who warmed Haryani's heart. They loved each other for a month in a relationship. Cheated behind of Mr. Ramaswamy. Even Mr. Ramaswamy was sailing. As long as Haryani and Edward Robbins act more audacious, like they were forgot about status and condition. They were more displayed and not shy. Even more of the romance was so by the maid's castle. But they don't have power or to advance or prevent it. Also, they didn't dare to inform that Mr. Ramos's father was a Haryani husband. At the end, once of the maid was saw Haryani and Edward making love at the back of balcony without a care about surrounding. Mr. Ramos's father already knew and smelling embarrassed feel between his wife and his counselor. However, because of his trust in Edward, he overcame his prejudice. Then, one of the maids who annoyed reported this accident into Mr. Ramos's father. Mr. Ramos's father had just come from his sailing and think to see his wife. He became deeply mad when heard this news. On a sunny day in summer, in the front of Thunder Castle, Haryani was given by maids assigned by the Lord Thunder to punish her. In the front of Gravenhage's people, Haryani was grounded. More likely, she punished by her guilty, her lover, Edward Sinol. He was cried so hard when he see his girlfriend killed by watching in a mass. They know it's their fault and they deserve this punishment. However, he didn't accept that the punishment was Haryani. His woman, his sweetheart. He willing to replace Haryani, but unfortunately, his dad, Evan Robbins, defend on him and say that Haryani is a bitch who seduced his son. Haryani was success to seduce Edward and they will have relationship. Haryani wanted that Edward would accept her desire and become her boyfriend, then cheated on her husband. Because of that, Edward was released from punishment and he just have imprisoned. No one can escape the big power of Mr. Ramos's father. He can do everything he wants in the devil way. Edward kept his mouth shut. Didn't scream. He actually cried so hard to hold back his tears and seemed pointless. He dropped down right Haryani. Everyone was left the castle, leaving only himself and Haryani, who was died. He held Haryani's face, and his heart is broke and so hard. He loved this woman such entire of his life. He loves Haryani more than anything in her life. He hugged Haryani's bodies, who wear white kabaya. At a glance, her memories with Haryani was played like an old film clip. Do you love me? She asked to the man who was hugged her, while her man just smiling on her and placed his chin in her shoulder. Girlfriend, I really love you, even more of my life. He's staring, her eyes so soft. Then, how if they know about us? What do you want to do? Haryani asked him serious, and Edward looked up the future. I will always with you, no matter what happened. Haryani smiled, and she raised her finger to make a promise. Promise? Promise. They loved together. They loved together, as well as didn't know what happened in the future. Ik hou van je, Haru. I love you, Haru. Edward cried under Haryani's body. He held a large frame. It contained a beautiful woman's painting with white kebaya, a traditional Indonesian wear which he come from. A traditional Indonesian wear which she come from. You said you will wear this at our wedding, but don't like this. Edward cries of pity. It is a pretty Haru in no condition. Then he kissed Haryani's soft cheek. Edward put the painting in Haryani's side. Paintings that made by himself. The paint that were proof how much he admired and loved pretty girl as Haryani. Edward fell down in the front of that woman. He cupped his hand and prayed to sky. If we will cannot together, please, with your miracle, bring she back. He cupped his hands like this, and he started to pray to sky. If we will cannot together, please with your miracle, God, bring she life back, but not with me. Please make her life happy. I love her and I really want to see her life happy, even without me. I left her to you, God. Listen me, listen my wish. Screamed Edward along, with lightning that it strikes, and the sky in the sand darkening, as if it would heed Edward's hope. He looked back at Haryani and hugged her. Edward said, "Live happily, Haru. I love you forever." After saying that, Edward took out the swords behind her body, then sank in the right of his head. Then many of the blood came out Edward's mouth. His body dropped right next to Haryani. He followed her lover to death. There was a message from Edward to Haryani. One of the things that you must know, Haru, that I love you and will always be with you, within or without me. Please live happily, because I have sent you to God. After this, never look back again. Just go and find your happiness. Therefore, she is an Amaranthine. It describes the lovely rose petal with eternal beauty attached to her. She had been living in a difficult life. No matter how much sin committed to, she will never. Therefore, she is Amaranthine, as described as the lovely with rose petal with eternal beauty attached to her. She had been living in a difficult life. No matter what, no matter how much sin she committed, will never able to forget the journey that pathetic. She continues to live in an important and historical object. She lived eternally by the will of God, from the request of someone who loved her very much, and one day she will return to life when she finds her true love.